We're going to continue talking about ratio tables, and what I want to talk about specifically is how to graph ratio tables. But before we do that, we're going to review how we fill in the missing numbers on a ratio table. First way that we do it is, if you can see the pattern, fill the numbers in. If you can't see the pattern, then you want to go to another way. Okay, a second way that you do it is what I call the up-down method. We're going to fill this spot in with the up-down method. So, how do we do that? Well, if you go down, okay, we ask ourselves 3 times what? When you go down, you multiply. 3 times what gives me 6. 3 times 2 gives me 6. So on this side, we're going to multiply by 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to erase this here. Okay, so 3 times, since we're going down, we're going to multiply. 3 times what gives me 12? 3 times 4 gives me 12. So 7 times 4 gives me 28. So this is 28. Okay? Always use a row in the ratio table that's filled in. Okay, obviously. Let's erase that side part, okay? Okay, so we have 14 and 28 in there now. The next way that we talked about is creating a proportion and solving it, okay? So how do we do that? Well, if I let's take this row and we take this row, we can create a proportion. So I would do 3 over, and we're trying to figure that out. So we'll put x equals 7 times 49. Okay, so we can cross multiply and divide. Cross multiply. 3 times 49, I don't know that, so I got to do that on the side. 7, 2, 147. So I get 147 equals 7 times x is 7x, and then you just solve for x. So I would divide by 7 on both sides. You get x equals 21. Okay, x equals 21. So I can put in this spot here. $21. Okay. The last one, I'm just going to use the up-down method again. This was solving a proportion. Okay. So the up-down method, let's see here. 3 times what gives me 30? 3 times 10. So I'm going to take 7 times 10, and I'm going to get 70. Okay, now I have my ratio table all filled in. 3 to 7, 6 to 14, 12 to 28, 21 to 49, 30 to 70. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to graph this. Okay, now how do I graph this? Let me get some stuff out of there.
Okay, let's erase some of this stuff here.
Now that I have that erased, okay, we're going to graph this. So the left side of the ratio table is always the x. Okay, it's always the x. The right side is always the y. Okay? It's always the y. Now, on the ratio table, okay, notice how all the numbers are going to be positive. So we only need quadrant 1 of the coordinate plane. Okay? The biggest thing with the coordinate plane is that you mark what you're going to do for increments. Okay? The x and the y increments do not need to be the same. So you have to think about, how can I fit all these numbers on there and use most of the graph. So what I do is I count. If I can't do it in ones, so if I counted, let's just say the X, if I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is 10 spots. I won't be able to fit all the X numbers because I need to get to 30. So then I think 1, 2, 3, and 5s are 10. So if I counted by 2s, I would only get to 20. If I counted by 3s, I would get to 30. So I'm going to count by 3s because my highest number is 30. You could also do 5s, you could also do 10s, okay? But I like to try to get it so it fits the entire graph. So I'm going to write 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. And I'm going to write that down there. Okay? Now I'm going to write my increments for the y. I have to get all the way to 70. Okay? Well, if I go 5 times, okay, there's 10 spots here. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 5 doesn't get there. So then I'm just going to go by 10s. Okay? Because it's not over 100. So I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay? Now I'm going to graph it. So 3, 7, 3, 7, let's see. 3, 7 would be 3 and about right there. Okay? 6, 14, okay, and you're estimating about, okay, if you need to, you're estimating. Okay, 6, 14, 12, 28, gonna be about right there. Okay. 21, 49, 21, 49. Be about right there. And 30, 70, 30, 70, right there. Okay? And then you're gonna draw a line. Okay? You're gonna draw a line. I'm gonna get a new color here. Let's do pink. Maybe. Okay? And you're gonna draw this line like that, okay? And what you're looking for is that it's a straight line from the bottom left-hand corner of quadrant 1 to the top right-hand corner of quadrant 1, and it needs to go in that upward direction. If this is not what your line looks like, then you probably got it wrong, okay? You probably got it wrong. So, you're combining two things you already know how to do, okay? You know how to fill in the ratio table, okay? And you know how to graph points on a coordinate plane. The biggest thing is that you need to make sure that you have the correct increments on the x and the y axis. Okay, and this is the x axis and this is the y axis. Okay? And then when you graph the ratio table, since they're equivalent ratios on a ratio table, then your line should go in a straight line from the bottom left-hand corner to the top right-hand corner, or somewhere in like that. So this is a good line because it's straight. If you would ever see a line that went like this, you would know that something was wrong with your ratio table. Okay?